Here to score it for us is the master of disaster public relations specialist, Mike Paul.
Mike Paul, known as the Reputation Doctor.
Well, there's a court of law and there's a court of public opinion.
Mike Paul is a crisis PR and reputation management expert.
Is all about reputation.
Got some tips on rebuilding those reputations.
You first have to be transparent and then be accountable for your actions.
He's got to get on a truth train right now.
There's no ifs or buts in a true apology. You must speak directly to the issues that you've been involved with.
You're going to have an across-the-board solution that is more than words, and you got to have actions.
Hello! Let's do this. So this week's show is a little different. This is my annual top 10 list. It's the top 10 reputations and brands in crisis. Drum roll, please. Number 10 on the list is the global supply chain crisis. The global supply chain crisis, as you can tell by this photo, includes all of those barges, all of those goods that are out there in the ocean still that you've been waiting for. Not just for holiday gifts, but for daily use, where you're hearing more often, your things are going to take a little longer to get to you because of the crisis of workers that aren't available, brands that are having difficulty building their products because of the loss of workers during the pandemic, and transportation getting it to you with everything from ships to truck drivers who aren't available, and the workers who are supposed to unpack it for you and put it on a shelf or get it to your home. This has affected some major brands, not just in the United States, but globally, and will be an ongoing crisis for months to come. Number 9, Rudy Giuliani. He had his licenses pulled as an attorney in the state of New York and in Washington, D.C. He had other honorary significant events that he had in his life pulled because those organizations didn't want to be associated with him anymore. And worse, he was sued, and those lawsuits are coming to roost in early 2022. If you think Rudy had a bad year this year, and even the year before, wait until you see what 2022 has for him. Number 8, the former governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo. He was forced to resign. Let's remember how high he was on the reputation ladder before his great fall. There were people around the world during the pandemic tuning in to his press conferences to learn how to best deal with the biggest pandemic our world has had in many, many years. He did it succinctly. He did it clearly. It drew us into him. It made us trust him. And now all trust has been lost because of his actions with those who worked for him that he has allegations of sexual assault and sexual harassment. And we've learned so much more about just how he treats people and what he thinks of himself that made him have his big fall. Got so bad that he resigned before he was fired. Number 7, hot in the news right now, Alec Baldwin. What's his quote? I didn't pull the trigger. What's another quote from the interview from ABC recently? I'm not responsible. What's another quote from the interview? I don't feel guilty. Those phrases might help him partially in the court of law, but they certainly don't do anything for him in the court of public opinion. We heard more about him and how he felt in that interview than we heard about those who lost their life and were injured and also traumatized by what happened. Number 6, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's ally, tied to sexual trafficking allegations by some that were of age and some women that were underage. We see her in this photo done by an artist within the court, walking in handcuffs and a face mask below her nose, by the way. She never thought with her personal power and wealth and family name that she would ever be in these circumstances. She could be going away to jail, prison, for a long, long time. Number 5, Facebook, or should we say Meta. Look at this photo. The CEO of Facebook is in such a crisis and scandal situation now, personally, but the company has people who have left the platform forever. We all know someone who doesn't use Facebook anymore because of the things that they have been tied to with serious allegations. Not protecting children, not stopping all types of fringe groups that are racist and harmful to children and harmful to women. We can go on and on, including all the things that happened during the past electoral cycles in politics that Facebook not only knew about but encouraged. They've got a lot to grapple with to seek to rebuild their reputation. Let's see what 2022 holds for Facebook Meta moving forward. Big Oil made so much money for generations are now tied to the environmental impact, literally globally, to its use by man all over the world. In addition to that, we are moving much more quickly to a global reliance on cleaner energy sources, from wind to electric power to all different types of sources external to the oil business to allow us to have energy around our world, to have a cleaner planet. And even the oil companies themselves are investing in these cleaner energies, which is helping to put themselves out of the oil business and continue in the clean energy business. It's time for them to pay the price for the environmental impact that they've had, and it's affected their reputation in a big way. Number 3, civil rights and human rights victims and survivors. And we could focus on so many different types who are within this category around the world, from the migrants and immigrants around the world that are seeking to have a better life by entering countries that are not their original home, of which they're seeking to make a home, to, sadly, the civil rights struggles that continue, sadly, with many still dying because of everything from racism and white supremacy to lack of gun control in various countries, including our own here in the United States. And we highlight the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as, sadly, those migrant children who came from the South seeking to cross our borders for a better life, some with their parents and some without their parents, in 2021. Number 2 on the list, the United States of America overall, with a global reputation in crisis. You see, the impact of once being positioned as the savior of the world, literally, to many believing our previous president, our most recent past president, President Donald Trump, being a clown that makes us still the laughing stock of the world, will not be repaired through just one presidential cycle under Biden. In fact, the next president after Biden, and perhaps even the next president after that, will still be seeking to rebuild trust around the world, to restore order, to allow us to be positioned much more professionally, presidential, respectful as people and a country by those who view us around the world. We have a lot of work to do. And number 1 on the list of the top 10 reputations and brands in crisis, drum roll again, please, the ongoing COVID-19 global pandemic that includes now not just the powerful Delta variant, but the Omicron variant, of which continues to get people sick and we continue to learn more about on a daily basis. We are so fortunate in the United States to not only have the option of getting 2 shots, but of getting 3, before many people and many countries around the world still have not had the opportunity to get even 1. We have people literally dying for the option of the shot, as we have people here protesting against the 3-shot options they have to not only save their own life and protect themselves, but protect their own families and everyone in society that comes in contact with them. If we don't learn our lesson soon, we're going to be grappling with this for years to come. The more that get the vaccinations, and now a complete cycle is 3 shots, the better, not just for our local society in the United States, but for literally the world we live in as we seek to protect each other and be safe and healthy as a globe. So that's our list for this year. First time we've done it in video form. I've done it for many years, in fact, decades, in written form. And we thank you for listening. This week's t-shirt, CNN. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a CNN t-shirt this week for our year-end top 10 list, I think you better Google what's going on at CNN right now. They're having their own reputation crisis as we speak. So this is the last show for 2021. We want to thank all of our subscribers and viewers and listeners all over the world who have made our show a hit. We're very proud of that, and we're going to continue to grow and continue to come up with excellent topics that you enjoy. So remember, less head work, more heart work, peace. And please subscribe and follow us on YouTube, and also follow us in audio form on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Have a terrific end of year. We'll see you soon at the beginning of 2022. Thank you very much.